Hi, Bimbo, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Hello? Oh, okay, cool. All right, so good afternoon to everyone listening to us out there. I want to put off the music now so that we can start. Bimbo, you may just want to mute from your end. Okay. All right, guys. Good afternoon again to you all, and happy today to be here on the screen with Bimbo. My name is Joseph Afisu. I am a Microsoft MVP and MCT. And today we have Bimbo with me here. Bimbo is a data analyst and fondly called Data Queen, right? So she's doing a lot regarding the data community, and she's one of those persons that you want to check out on different social media platforms. I see she's doing amazingly on TikTok, right? Putting out strategies for people to build themselves. And if you check out on LinkedIn on the regular daily post, you see that she's doing quite a lot of things, and she's somebody that you want to have on your network. And she has a very beautiful YouTube channel also where she does a lot of things. And myself, today, I will be having a chat with her on this session today because of how much we value the community. We want to talk about community. So you see, if you see the topic of conversation today is going to be, it's all about the community. And we are going to really be dealing a lot with the topic that we have that is to span across everything that have to do with us. So I have some bit of write-ups here that we'll just be following through, right? Just so that we have a guide on what to discuss today. So and I see that a lot of persons have been waiting to hear from us, and I'm really very happy that we're on time to have these communications with you today. So we in the last time that we had this conversation, we spoke about mentorship, and we went on to have conversation around a lot of things, right? And today we'll really be going into the discussion around community, right? Around community. So Bimbo is just having a bit of some hiccups regarding our network, but that's not something that we cannot deal with before the end of the show, right? So we want to talk about what is a community in the first place, right? So, community, people say giving back to the community is something that you cannot underestimate, right? So, community builds people more than any other platform. Like a very popular saying that goes that if you cook, that the community can finish your food and still ask for more. But if the community decide to cook for you, you will not be able to go anywhere within what is prepared for you. So what it means is that the community is bigger than any individual that you can think of, right? So the community is somewhere that actually builds you, and then it becomes not negotiable, because if you want to really talk about what a community is from a traditional man's point of view, the traditional man sees a community as a place where people live, right? That have fathers, that have mothers, that have sisters, that have brothers, and people around has neighbors and all of that. And if you look at it deeply, you would understand that it is a group of persons who cannot do without themselves, right? So the community can do without you, but you cannot do without the community, because all the assistance, all the help you need come from the community. Then coming, living the traditional way, like people look at community to the community of professionals, right? So in the world of work, we have people from different all walks, ranging from people in the tech space, people in the medicine, people in the medical space, people in law, people in just fashion, just name it. We have a lot of people. And if you look at it again, just the same way that the traditional man would have defined the community to be a place where we have mothers, we have fathers, we have brothers, the same way too that the community of professionals, one profession cannot stand out to say, I am independent of the other one. Just think of any community, right? Or a group of kind of professionals. Do you want to say that the medical doctors do not need the lawyers? What if there are cases? Do you want to say that the lawyer does not need a medical doctor? What if he is sick, right? Do you want to say that a medical professional does not need a tech sis or a tech bro to work with him? Of course, what if it comes to a situation where you need to transmit information from one location to the other? Or do you want to say that a fashion designer does not need a tech bro? Then how will you browse the internet, right? So at the end of the day, do you want to say a doctor does not need, or a medical practitioner does not need a fashion designer, then how is he going to put on his clothes? So what happens is that everything goes around and comes back around, in the sense that one profession needs the other one to survive, and that again is a community of its own. And then you as an individual who chooses to take a particular profession. Now you've taken this profession and then you are practicing, right? And then you find yourself in the clique of people who also do the same thing. For example, Bimbo is a data analyst. Within the data analyst space, there are a lot of tools that they make use of. Now, because there are a lot of tools that they make use of, there are people who are well known for some certain tools. I know that I use Power BI, for example. People use Excel a lot. People use SQL a lot. So there are people use Python a lot to do all of those things. People use things like I'm trying to remember a lot that people use in data science. For example, you are in data science and then you choose to say, hey, I know everything. If you talk about Power BI, I'm a pro. If you talk about Excel, I'm a pro. If you talk about Tableau, I'm a pro. If you talk about Python, I'm a pro. I don't need anybody. Now, within that's your own profession, it's also a community of itself. So that you will now know that you need to reach out to somebody who is a pro in terms of Python, and then you need to reach out to somebody who is a pro when you want to talk about Power BI, and then you know somebody to reach out to when you want to do Excel. It means that again, why not talking about the community at whole from a traditional man's point of view to community as a whole in terms of walks of life, then coming to a particular profession, you also see that you still cannot survive alone without reaching out to people to give you guidance on what to do, right? So you want to look at it from the point that within your immediate profession, you still need somebody who has more idea about a particular skill that you still also want to reach out to for support. So it means that as as a person, you cannot really stand alone at any instant in time within your profession. So the best way to go is the community. And that's why from our highlights here, we say community is non-negotiable, right? You can't negotiate the essence of having community within you, right? You must, in one way or the other, if you must grow, you can't grow in isolation. You must find a clique of people that you want to work with. And mind you, if you do not work with the people, they will move on and leave you behind. Then if you work with them, the better for you. Who actually benefit from community contribution or engagement is the individual and not really the community itself. Because, like I mentioned earlier, the community can do without you, but you can't do without the community. So that is one very important thing. So I know that Bimbo is settled now. So do you want to share light on what the premises I've just set? Do you want to contribute to it from your own point of view to just let us know why community is not negotiable and it's indispensable? Hi, Bimbo, can you hear me? You're lightly muted. So, do you want to speak?
Yeah, hi Joseph. Really nice to be here this weekend. An exciting one, and the topic that we are talking about today is something that really has to do with one particular point in time, whether you or not, as an individual, you need to actually be in a community. You need to help the community. You need to give back to the community, and you also need to be part of the community. Now, just like Joseph has said, it is very important to actually be someone that you are not only getting from the community, but you are also trying to give back to the community. It is very, very important. So basically, what we'll be covering today is talking about the community. So we decided last week talking about mentorship, and the topic spans long because it talks about mentorship, talks about community and accountability. But this week we are going to focus solely on community because we feel like the topic is broad, so we want to break it down into sections that help us cover a lot during this period. Now, what is a community and how well can a community help you in your career? A community is that space, it's a group of individuals that come together make sure that something is being done, just more like everyone to understand. Now, being in a community is something that is not negotiable, just as Joseph has said. You need to be that person that while you are in a community, you are not just there and keeping meals space of being in that community. You need to be that participating whatever engagement you on the community. And you're also trying to do community. Very, very important. So these are some points that I see a lot of people, why they're in communities, they just stay there to fill the space and then they don't do anything to help for career growth. Now, being in a community means that you are there to gain something. You are not just there to be there for the sake of it. You are there to have something in return, right? So you want to make sure that you are doing something that helps your growth as a person. Now, aside that, you want to make sure that you are giving back to the community. Now, this is where having to work as an individual comes in because being that person, your career journey, whatever you're doing, you need to be someone that wants to strive to also give back to the community in whatsoever way. Now, as you just said earlier, you're not doing it for the community, you're doing it for yourself because benefits will definitely come back to you. So aside just helping others, you're also helping yourself, right? So I think I would pause here while Joseph continues. Can you hear me?
I can hear you, Bimbo. Thank you very much. Thank you for the sacrifice. So, a lot of persons will see that Bimbo is outside of the house. She's a committed person, even though we had some bit of few challenges that could make her not to be present in this event. But I wanted to look at it from the point that she's a committed person, and this is what's also called community building. And then one thing what we should be aware of is events like this that we're having are free, right? Nobody pays for them, and we are happy to render them because, like Bimbo mentioned, you have to be willing to give back to the community. And there's something that Bimbo mentioned while we're having this conversation. She said your cycle determines your ceiling or affect your ceiling, right? Bimbo, I know that you want to speak on this, right? I want to leave you draw the premises because the idea behind your cycle determining your ceiling speaks a lot of volume to me. But I would like it if you could just give a hint on it and then we can pick it up from there. Let's have it.
All right. Okay, so based on that, I want to just break it up in a simpler way. Now, let's look at it in this point of view. As for instance, I'm going to use a data analyst as an example. You're a data professional, and then you are that person that just said learning data analytics, or let me just say generally a tech skill. You're a newbie, a beginner, trying to learn a tech skill, and you are alone on your own. You are doing everything on your own. You go
Mhm.
on, you pick up the tool set that you were asked to learn, and then you start doing everything on your own. Now there's another person, person B is there learning the same skill, but with the help of the community. Person B has that space, is in that space whereby he's able to ask questions whenever he's stuck, is able to reach out to people in the community to ask for guidance, and also being able to communicate with other members of the community. And person A is there without no community. The person is not in any community. Now, who do you think would have a better growth in the career? Of course, when we person B, because person B already has that space. He has people around to assist whenever there is something that is bothering um, he or she, right? So that is the major reason why we recommend always that you don't just start something and then do it on your own. Make sure that you are in that space whereby there are people that will push you to keep going. There are people that would also encourage you to keep going. Now, this will bring me to just saying a little story about my career journey when I started. Of course, I started alone. I wasn't in any community. I was just trying to do the stuff myself because I really did not know much about the whole field and what community to join or what community not to join. I was just doing it on my own. So later on, along the line, I found out that it was very important to join a community to help my career growth. And that was when I said reading through, I made my research. I had to go online, and luckily for me, I found yeah that has to do with. I tell you for a fact that that really helped my career goals because it helped me to know a lot of things that I did not know existed for data professionals. I was able to scale faster than I had already started learning. So it helps in my career goals. It helps me learn faster. It helps me to know a lot of things that I even did not know that existed in the field. So it's very important to actually be in a community when you are starting to learn a skill, or even though you are not a newbie, even though you've already started for a while, you are intermediate level, you still need a community. You need to try to join one, at least give back to the community, answer questions, try to help others that are just starting, or try to bring up something that will motivate others to climb up as well. So that is something that one key advice that I would give to anyone here this evening. Don't be that person that just feel like there's no point. Of course, I see some people these days they join communities, and when they feel like there's a lot of messages on that community, they tend to leave because they feel like it's too much for them, right? But I don't want that to be something that would push you not to want to be in a community because you see too many messages and then you feel like no, this is not for me. Please be there to give in your own quota, whatever it is, whatever you can do, whatever benefits you know that you can help with. Please be sure to do it because it's very important. It, it will help you, not only help you, it will also help others that are also trying to stand their feet, stand their ground in their career line. So I hope I was able to answer
Yeah,
that
so
question.
Bimbo, you mentioned something about joining the right community.
Okay.
Do you know what? You are just speaking to me directly, and especially as it has to do with people having too many messages and just running away from those communities. Now, when I started off my career, I was fortunate to quickly understand that community is very important. I think I spent just a very few years in the field already, and you can see behind me having a Microsoft MVP certificate hanging there. The Microsoft MVP is not an achievement, right? It's an award for dedication and contribution to the community and how you want to help people to grow. Now, Bimbo spoke about joining the right community. So the right community is very important. So you need to really understand. Yes, you have heard from us. We are saying that there is need for you not to stand alone because you cannot stand alone, and the community can stand without you. Now the question is, which community am I supposed to join? Now you look at it from the point that you have. a lot of people making noise everywhere. You have group of persons on LinkedIn, you have groups on WhatsApp, you have groups on Slack, you have groups on a lot of other social media, right? That you can actually be a member of. Let's say for example, you look at yourself and say, okay, I know a lot of WhatsApp group. Let's say for example you want to start up a career, like Bimbo has been making mention of data analyst because that's our own area. Like you want to start up a career in cloud technologies, for example. The first thing you want to do is, are there people who are already in the field, right? And I see the way the world is going, especially in the tech space, people are really available to assist others, right? So you want to look at it from the point that, where do I really start searching for people? In my opinion, I feel like the very first place anyone should go search for groups or communities to join is the LinkedIn space, right? So you need to really just check the LinkedIn space and see if you can quickly join a community on LinkedIn. If you go to LinkedIn and you try to search for communities, groups that speaks to your own kind of interest, you should be able to send a connection request. I mean, a request to join to the admins, and they are likely going to accept you to join those communities. LinkedIn is very, very important. And one thing I want to say is that when you get to those platforms, don't be silent, be known, right? Be known in the sense that try to contribute to people who come on to ask questions. Don't be that person who will just read through somebody's problem and just decide to get away and say, since it's not really your issue, then you just go. You can be in a community where you know that people who are asking this question are actually people that are working. For example, there are people that are working and perhaps you are not even working yet. And in that group, somebody is asking a question that would help him resolve an issue, right? And you know that at the end of the day, he's going to get paid. Let me give you an instance. There was a time that I was not really working, right? And I was in a member of a community where people pick cases by their case IDs and drop the case there to say, maybe for example, somebody is unable to sign into something, or unable to do something, unable to make out calls, or unable to add something to something, and then the person drops that message on the group. I know that if you resolve a ticket, you are going to get paid for a ticket. But this problem is coming from you to the group, and I'm like, oh, you need an answer to this. And what it means is that if I provide an answer to you, you are going to resolve a ticket and you're going to get paid, and I'm not working, right? See, that selfish nature of human being may make you want to say, hey, this guy is going to get money when I answer this question. But hey, why not to just take a break? That resolution you are thinking about will resolve the issue, may not necessarily resolve it, right? If you give out that opinion and say, can you try this X, Y, and Z? If that doesn't work, the person is likely going to come back to you to say it did not work. And do you know what? You can follow up with the person to ask what later resolved the issue. And you'll be so proud if you really resolve the issue for the person. And let me even give you a worse scenario, a more kind of a more kind of scenario that would make some people just hold back and say, no, I will not give in to for this. No, for example, we have practice environments in Microsoft, right? So practice environments are called developer tenants, right? So for a developer tenant comes with like 25 licenses, of each of it being $53 for one account times 25. And then Microsoft gives it out for people to practice in different environments. So at one point, people misused it, and then it was retrieved from like a lot of people who were not having use of it. And then there was now like a hurdle to prepare to have like a new one to practice. Then I was fortunate to have just one that I was actively using. And then I work in a Nigerian firm and I'm being paid in Naira, right? Then I have colleagues who are working in international firms and they are being paid in dollars. You know what that means? So what it means is that we are in the same community and they are reaching out to have a practice environment to go use to practice and get paid in dollars, and I am the one owning it or having it, and I need to give it out to them to practice. What do I do? In that case, it is a way of giving out to the community. What I just simply did was create an account for them, add them to it, give them access to practice as much as they can. If I were giving for free by Microsoft, then why shouldn't I be able to give it out for free to people too who want to use it to practice something and then replicate solution and give response to somebody who's having an issue? But do you know that a lot of people's appreciation came back time and time again. And that has built my strong leg in the industry. And because of that access I have, I had to, because they are constantly using those accounts, they were constantly being refreshed, right? Just imagine that I left it for myself alone to say, whenever I have the time to use, I will utilize it. But because they are constantly using these accounts, Microsoft sees that activities are going on those accounts and they tend to refresh it for me every day. But what about my selfish self who would say, I will not give it to them because I earn in naira, you're going to earn in dollars, I'm going to give it to you, you're going to use it to earn money more than I, and I decide to hold it back. Maybe today I don't have it again. So who is actually losing, right? And then with access to that, I was able to contribute to the community. I built more than maybe 200 videos on YouTube without even knowing if anybody was going to watch them. At some point in the beginning, I was sounding like broken cassettes of those old days. My microphone was very bad, everything was bad. But I don't give a damn of whatever happens. I was not more concerned about the perfection, right, behind it. I was more concerned about somebody would learn from what I am doing. And after some time, somebody who watched my recording, and then talking about belonging to the right community, right? Somebody watched my recording and reached out to me to say, can you deliver training? I don't pay. I say, yes, I can, of course, deliver training for you on this. And then the person took me through a whole month. I was training and I was not getting paid. So what happened was the next month we had to now negotiate, and they said, okay, I can now pay you this amount to deliver trainings. And it was through that training that I got the job I am currently on, because I assisted a student within that training to retrieve a missing recording, and that's how the community has come back to pay me, by giving me something to do. I don't know, maybe today I would have been sitting without a job, perhaps if I did not contribute to that community. So your contribution to community does not immediately bring gratification, but it does bring it on the long run, right? And then this contribution continued from my end unrelentlessly, and then keep on going. And before you know it, I got to become a certified trainer because of the contributions in the communities and then the examinations that I was able to get. And I have my certified trainer certificate down hanging there that can actually bring up something. And then that contribution continued and continued. And then before you know, I think one of the highest award you can get as somebody within this field can just be a most valuable professional. And that is not an achievement, it's an award for contributing to the community, right? It is renewable, right? What it means is that we'll still reevaluate your contribution to the community. If it is constant, then you can be renewed after yearly cycle. So what we are trying to say is that be strategic again about your involvement in community activities by identifying the correct one to join. What about you looking at your WhatsApp, right? Trying to look at what people are asking for. Can you provide responses to them? I know of people who provided responses constantly to people on WhatsApp. And when there are job referrals, those people that were constantly showing up to assist people, right, without expecting anything from them, were the first people they reach out to, and the very, very close people to me, they are that I can really say, yeah, these people are. So community building. So when you join these communities, don't just sit at the back seat and expect them to always be feeding you. Only go there when you have something to say. Only go there when you want to celebrate. I feel guilty about this sometimes, right? Because there are lots that I belong to that sometimes I don't seem to be there on time to quickly respond or to participate in an ongoing conversation. So if I go there to make an announcement that concerns me, I feel a bit selfish, right? So you should have that mind in you to make sure that you go back to look at those look at what is happening within the communities around you. And one of the best things that you can do as an individual is at any point in time within your career journey, you already have something that you can give to people. Why not identify why not identify individuals who are just growing up in the field? See, no matter the level that you are while in a particular field, I seem to believe, maybe because I find it easy to teach, I don't know, maybe that's why, but I see that there will be need for you to hold one person within a community, just one person that you can provide continuous support for, right? And see how you can assist this individual know the next level of life. If you can hold on to the next two or three persons, you can really form your own community even if you don't want to join an existing one. But join an existing one would be like a better way to go, just so you can design your own out from those community and have one standing for yourself that you can be sure to give an account by the end of the year to say you impacted one, two, or three persons who were looking for job. What about going to secondary school to build a community of people to say, let me see if I can be a career coach to as many people within this secondary school? What about you going to the university to say, let me handhold two or three persons to see how I can guide them pre-NYSC, while in NYSC and post-NYSC, building your own community, or even trying to say, let me join an existing one, join forces with a community leader and see how you can be of help to somebody. But one thing is that if you always do something with expectation to receive a reward for it, you will miss a lot, because some people will see you to be self-centered who does not have the mind to sacrifice. So community is all about sacrifice. Community is all about giving than receiving. And when community cook for you, you cannot finish it. Now, when you keep giving to the community, keep giving to the community, the day the community will cook for you, you have a lot. And funny enough, you may not be able to trace back what you did that is bringing back returns. You may have done it a very long time ago because you're a community person. You may have done that a very long time ago. I want to even talk about something, but I'll try to clone it as much as I can. I was just providing videos, solutions on LinkedIn to say, okay, if you have a compromised account of a user, this is how you can meticulously take care of it. If you want to create a migration and then you have this error, this is how you can take care of it. It's also a community contribution, because LinkedIn itself is a community. Facebook itself is a community. WhatsApp itself is a community. Go on to say TikTok itself is also a community. It may not be people that are very, very close within the same cycle with you. But while I was giving this out, I never knew that a particular firm was taking note of what I was doing. And when they needed an evaluation on a product, they had to reach out. And those evaluation of product don't come for free. We don't want to tag an amount to it now, but that is a community that has come back to pay for what you gave without you knowing. There are licenses that you make use of today that you probably needed to pay a lot for it. For example, there's a license I use to carry out some evaluation. I did the trial version, and what I discovered, I quickly gave it out to the community that called the attention of the parent company to say, hey, you have used this to make it as simple as it is to my users. We consider giving you like a 1 year license access. If I multiply the amount in naira, converting from dollars in naira for 12 months of the access I have to that tool, even enterprise organizations will not pay that amount for such licenses, but I have it as an individual sitting on this seat right now. What is that? The community has cooked for me. So that little contribution that you are giving to the community, don't tag a timeline to it to say it is after next month. If it does not give a return, I'm going to stop doing it. No, that ability to keep on doing, to keep on giving without expecting anything in return is what actually makes the difference. So community building is something that everybody should consider from your own very little cycle. Share your own thoughts and be a power behind somebody's success. Be more concerned about how people can progress than how you will progress. If you hold on the lights to show people how to go, you will definitely not be in darkness. So that is talking about engagement on community activity. But then again, you must define your niche. You must define what exactly you want to stick to. Don't come to this community of data analytics today and then because you are half baked in data, you just drop one or two things and then you jump off, and then you go to cloud computing and then you contribute two or three and then you jump off, and then the next tomorrow you are going to, maybe, I don't know, the next field, and then you want to, because you will need to really now sit down. We talk about niche every time we discuss. Try to tailor your own search. Want to say, okay, I want to become a cloud solution engineer. Who are those that are cloud solutions engineers? Where can they be found? Are they more available on LinkedIn? Are they more available on Twitter? Are they more available on Facebook? You have to first of all know where they are mostly available. Then, for example, I know that things around maybe fashion, the fashion industry could be more available on Instagram. I'm just thinking, could be more available on Instagram. Things around maybe things around maybe comedy or so may be more available on Instagram and Facebook, right? But things around maybe cloud computing, data analytics may be more available on LinkedIn. So you want to now go to LinkedIn. Now, first of all, put out your niche to say this is exactly what I want to do. Now, who are those that I can envy in the industry and what community are they in? Can I find myself in those community? And another thing is that running after an individual will not be as helpful as when you are running after a community. While an individual may not have time for you, the community would one way or the other find time to attend to you. Because if you join a community of, say, for example, you have like 200 or 300 people, they're professionals, right? And then these people keep taking note of you to come on a daily, on a weekly, and then try to look at the pending issues that are there, and then you try to make a research and then come back to say, hey, this is what I feel that should be used. And then the next time you come and say, hey, this is what I think should be used, right? People can really notice you, so that once you are dropping your own query, people jump on it as a matter of fact. And then you wouldn't know somebody that would jump to ask you, hey, why are you always doing this? This looks very nice. Can we do this? Can we do X? Can we do Y? Can we do Z? Right? Because they see you showing up on a constant ground. So pursue less of individual and pursue more of community. But first of all, determine the niche that you want to follow, and then decide where that group of persons are more available, and then see how you can request for as many communities as possible within those platforms. And once you are getting accepted into those communities, you make sure that you are constantly, making yourself available. Now, the good thing about choosing a particular career and a particular community to join is that you can actually multiply your contributions. Let's say, for example, Bimbo is a data analyst, and then she does a lot of things on her LinkedIn page on a daily basis, and she has over 36,000 followers on LinkedIn as we speak, right? Now, what happens is that if you decide to put up a content on a LinkedIn page, right? She can decide to copy it and post the same information in all her groups, and they become relevant across those groups. But if she was in cloud computing, for example, and you are bringing a data analytics thing to put there, it looks foreign to me. I was, what is she talking about here, right? So if you belong to a particular niche of community, you will be able to duplicate your contribution across different platforms, and then you get noticed across different platforms. So if there are communities that can be available on more than one platforms. On your LinkedIn, they can be there. You can actually find them on Facebook, on Slack, on whatever platform that they are. Now, what happens is that you can also take your contents from Facebook and put it on LinkedIn, take it from LinkedIn and put it on Slack, put it, move it from Slack and put it on maybe TikTok or something for people to see, because already people actually know you. And what again is important about carving your niche before joining a community is the fact that if somebody mentions your name, it should speak a language. If you mention Bimbo to me, what comes to my head is data. If you mention if you mention Sinaken to me, the lady on the call with us last Sunday, what comes to my head is power platforms, is automations. If you mention Bimbo, what comes to my mind, the next thing is Power BI, Excel, SQL. That's all that will be coming to my head. Don't be that person today you are a DJ, tomorrow you are a musician, and then next tomorrow you are a medical doctor. Like you are aspiring for too many things. No. So choose your niche and then belong to those community and be active. Your contribution to a community should be noticed, so that the day the community comes back to pay you, then you will just be surprised that the contribution you made actually paved the way for you. Now, another thing, Bimbo, I know that your background, you feel like speaking a lot, but unfortunately, your background is not helping it. But it's fine, right? But if at any point that you want to speak, do you want to speak about determining a particular niche while you are trying to join communities? Do you want to recommend based on different professions where you feel that individuals should go look for communities that they want to join, right? Do you want to speak on that? Because that's very important. Because after then, I would like you to speak on the power of peer learning. Because I know that, like, I think in a particular group today at ABC of Cloud, I saw somebody saying something around needing a group of learnings so that people can a group of people that want to learn together. So I also want you, after talking about the niche, carving a niche, I also like you to speak on the power of peer learning. And then especially as it has to do with this time, because this time that we'll have a global village, then how do we harness that possibility? Maybe you want to speak on that also.
All right. Thank you, Joseph, for shedding more light on that. Okay, so from the question, I'm going to start with the first question. Now, how would you know your niche and then the kind of community that you are expected to join if you're somebody that's looking to join the community? One thing I recommend to anyone is that do your research. Don't just go online and then because you see one community, you just jump on it and join, whether it goes in line with your field or not. Kindly sit down, think through, and then do your research. Who are those people in the field that you look up to? Who are the people that you see that are doing something very similar to what you're doing? Who are the people that you see today that are actually doing something at the level which you envision to want to be in the future? Now you can look at them, try to do your research, read through about them, check if they are in any community. That's how that's the easiest way for you to join a community. You can look through their profiles, you can go on LinkedIn, check their profiles, and do they have communities? If yes, then join the communities that they are on. If no, then you can reach out to them, tell them that you are just starting your journey in a particular field and then you want to belong to a community that will help you grow. You want to be in a community that will help you thrive, right? Those people, if they don't have a community, they would recommend one for you. A community that will help you, not just join a community for the sake of it, a community that will be there to guide you through. Now, that is one way that you can actually get a community to join. Aside that, other ways I recommend is just going on. And so I usually recommend LinkedIn because I feel like LinkedIn is a career platform for anyone that is starting a career, right? So if you are that person that is looking through joining a community, please go on LinkedIn. Check the search bar. Search for communities around your field. Now, for instance, you're a data analyst and you want to join a community. There are so many communities when it comes to the data field, right? But you want to be so specific about whatever you're doing. Go on LinkedIn, search, look for communities around data analytics. That way, you get a bunch of um, searches, you get a lot of committees that you can join. Then you look through and then see the one that has to do with your location. Now, another reason why I'm very big on location is because some people tend to not want to join communities that they feel like an outcast. They don't feel very okay to be be together with others that are not from their said location. So I really recommend that start from your own location. Then once you know how well it's being done, you are able to engage with others in that community. You can now move further, like joining other communities that even consist of people that are not in your present location because of cases whereby you feel like you are not in that position to come out and then talk about certain things that you feel like you don't know enough about. So that way it's easier for you to belong and then engage in the community. So I think that answers the question. Then another
Yeah,
thing that
so
I want
yes.
to also talk about. Okay, you have something to say.
Okay. I thought you wanted to speak about the peer learning. I was saying Victor Colade is on LinkedIn and is saying
Okay.
that we should speak about the power of peer learning. Okay.
Okay, for peer learning, I'm very, very, very big on that. If you know me, I usually recommend it for anyone that wants to start, whether you're just starting out or you're already in the field, trying to do whatever you're doing. I recommend it for anyone because it makes you go from 10 to 100 like very, very fast. Now, what that does for you is that it helps you, aside just having people around you that you're learning together with, it also helps you know a lot of things that you don't even know that exist while you're learning a
Mm,
particular skill. Now, for me, when I started, like I said earlier, I started just alone. I didn't join any community. I was just doing everything on my own. When I joined the community, it became clearer to me. After joining the community, I when the boot camp finished, we had a WhatsApp group where we had people, we are about five on the group, and we were doing same thing. We are all data analysts. Now joining that group helped me a lot because we were there to help ourselves in a way that wherever we have projects that we are working on, we go to the community and then drop that project. More like having people to give you feedback, have people to um, cheer you on whatever you're doing, have people to back you up. Like, okay, this is good, but you can do it better this way. That is what peer learning can help with. They are there to help give feedback on whatever you're doing. They also help um, push you to want to do better. Yeah, it helps me because they keep telling me, yeah, you can do this thing better. So it helps me do better in whatever I was doing. And I would say that if you want to care learn, it's better that you find accountability partners, people that you trust. Now, this
That's
is
the
a
point.
topic that
That's the
we're
point.
supposed
That's
to.
the point.
This is a topic that we're supposed to do next week. But I feel like since this question is coming up now, we can just throw more, a little light on it before the end of today's session. You need to find accountability partners, people that you trust, people that you know that have the same view as you, people that you know that also want to learn just like you. You don't just go and find people that are not serious. If you are in the midst of people that are not serious, you end up being like them. You just do the same thing that they are doing. So you want to make sure that you have people that are also serious about their career journey. People that also want to grow just like you. So that way it's easier for all of you to come together and then peer learn. Now there are ways in which you can do these things. You can have sessions, weekends. I think we should have this because this is more like a very big topic that we need to cover next week. So I don't want to go so deep into it this week, but then just know that peer learning is very, 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 very useful and it will help you grow your career very, very, very fast. So it's my
So
background.
yeah, yes.
Like,
So when you were speaking, something just came to my mind that is a bit funny, right? So there was an adage I heard that said, if you have five people, five fools, and then you want to join them, you are going to be the sixth fool because that's what they are. That's what they are, right? So you're going to be the sixth one. Then if you have five wise people and you want to join them, you'll be the sixth wise person. So while choosing to join some group of persons with the fact that you want to go and learn, you need to sit down and understand how they reason, right? Understand what they can do. Like for instance, today I'm here with Bimbo and we are having a conversation. 1 hour is almost going, and then if it is not because of the level of our commitment, the inconvenience she faced today, she won't have been here. But because she's a committed person, she has decided to make sure that come rain, come shine, she's going to be here. How did I discover that? I could be in this event, right? But it's not going to be as interesting as having somebody who is motivated as I am, right? Now, don't just look at somebody and just in a hurry. Everybody is actually out there saying, I'm looking for people to learn, I'm looking for people to learn with. People know what is right. A lot of people know what is right. And if not up to like 70, 80% of the people who are doing the wrong thing know the right thing to do. But habit, right, is not allowing them choose to do the right thing. They just keep seeing themselves doing the wrong. They want to change. When the year is ending, they make resolutions, they want to change, but they still go back to the same thing that they have been doing before. So the fact that people are saying, I'm looking for people to learn, when I'm looking for people to learn with, does not mean that it's everybody that is willing to learn. There are people that will tell you, hey, don't kill yourself. This little that you have done is already okay. Don't stress. It's fine. It is God that determines what happens to the life of a man. Just leave it, bro. You are stressing yourself. Why there are people that you see that they are see what push my mentor says, Solomon Jeremiah, I have to mention and apologies. Solomon Jeremiah said that the speed at which you are running depends on what is pursuing you, right? If a hen is after you, you could draw your feet, but if a cheetah is after you, then you know what is coming behind you is that the speed is so high, and then you need to run as very fast as possible. No, so you need to look at the people that have exactly the same thing that is pursuing them also pursuing you. What it means that look behind them and see what they have been doing. I looked at Bimbo's page and I see that, hey, look at what this lady has been doing for quite some time, and she's been very consistent. That's how to choose a study partner. If Bimbo was probably in my field, there, I don't have any doubts to say that we can quickly form a learning, a learning group, and then I'll be sure that even if you are going to bring somebody, it's likely going to be a like mind, right? So go to look at what is pursuing the person you want to learn with. Is it just a cat? Is it just a dog? Is it a lion, or is it a cheetah that is after this person? So if you see the speed at which the person, the individual is moving, then you want to quickly key into that person's shoes and see how you can take the speed with him or her. Because as a matter of fact, everybody knows that it takes two to tango, that you need to spin a fiber to form a yarn to have the strength. The fiber in itself is very, very soft, it's fluffy, right? I did textile engineering, and I can tell you that if you carry a fiber, it has the least of the strength that you can think of. But at the time you spin it, it whips, it spins with the other fibers, it forms strength that you cannot again now just break because it is very strong. Everybody knows that, right? So now, if you want to choose to look for person, don't just go to look for those that say, hey, I really want to, you see, this year I want to come into this, I want to achieve this is what I want to do, I have dedicated myself that I must do this. It's fine, but just go and look at the person's precedents, right, and see what has this person been doing. I'm not saying anybody cannot change, but you don't want to stake it on somebody who you do not have like something to reference. So the best thing is that look at what the person has been doing for quite some time. Is it this kind of person that will motivate me? For example, when I started out this year, I before this year, I think in December, when we were rounding off our training in the community, the mentorship program we had a wrap-up session by one of our mentors who came to tell us about career, right? And then when he was speaking, he said he has written more than 50 Microsoft certifications, that he has managed to pass like 20. So I looked at mine, I put them side by side his own, and I say, bro, what are you doing? You think you are doing a lot, right? But look at what somebody is saying. Let me go and check his profile. Hey, when I checked that profile, that was when I saw that I was still clapping. I've not started dancing. So now, if somebody had come to me to peer learn, right, at that point in time, and then somebody who's probably had one, the person may be clapping for me that I'm doing like a lot, right? And I would just feel okay that, yeah, I'm already a master in this. But please look out for people who are doing better than you when you want to do peer learning. Do you know that since that time, that mentor deliver a training on that, and I looked at it that okay, and then another experienced person of over 20 years experience in the field now mentioned that the best thing to do is to make sure that for every quarter you write a certification exam. Yes, it's expensive. Yes, you can fail, but let it be that for 3 months you take one, so that in 1 year you would have taken at least four before the year runs out. And if you do that 2, 3, 4 years down the line, you would have covered a lot in your field, right? That is for those who want to get certified, who now heard about how the whole thing is going. And since then, what I did was to keep in touch with that individual to ask, hey, what are you preparing for now? And he will say, I am preparing for this. Oh, I'm preparing for this. When are you writing it? We say, I'm writing it at this time. Oh, when you are done, let me know. I passed this or I failed this. Oh, I want to try again. That's kind of mutual relationship that we should be looking out for. People that one have the same mindset with us, and then people that you have to check what they have been doing before and see how you can key yourself into it. And what I will advise anybody is that look for those who are ahead of you. It is good if you want to pick those that are behind you, but note that the people you should be looking out for, or looking out, no, not looking out for this time, but looking up to, should be those that are ahead of you, because the ones that are coming behind you will make you comfortable with what you are doing, right? But the ones that are ahead of you will put you at the right speed of movement, right? And then when you move, quickly go back and give back. When you move, quickly go back and give back, because the essence of learning for me is to teach. I don't know about any other person. The essence of my learning, one, is to teach people, solve their problem, right? And if you do that, if you have that mindset of teaching, Bimbo, there is a different mindset when you are learning so that you can teach. than learning for learning's sake. Because if you want to teach me, you need to know it, you need to overly know it in a way so that you can break it down for me to understand. So if you take that to heart and you have the feeling that there are people that you want to teach, there is a document that you need to write to give to people to study. People don't need to spend the number of hours to go read this whole documentary before they understand this concept. With that mindset, you tend to do a lot. So in our wrap up conversation, before we go, as a final word from us, what have we been able to do today? I've just want to look through my list of the things that I was writing while we were talking, just to conclude today. Give me a second to just get to that point because we're already on top of the hour. And I really appreciate you for listening, from joining us from TikTok, from LinkedIn, from YouTube. And we will always try to be back, right, to give you what we have in our schedule. So, community is what we discussed today. We said, what is a community? A community is actually a group of persons. This group of persons can be people living together in the same environment. They can be people living together in the same profession. They can be people living together in the world of work, right? And then we also mentioned that giving to the community is important because if you cook for the community tend to eat it and they will still need more. But the day the community will cook for you, that is the day of your payment because every worker has a payday, and the payday from the community, you'll be amazed. That's the point that we're trying to raise. Now, the next point is that how do you build or join the right community? We have mentioned that you should try to build a community, even if you are joining one. You can go to secondary school to hold a few persons to train, to see how you want to guide them. You can go to the university to see how you can 3 or 4 persons from your local community that you can show the way you are building your own community. Then join the community, determine the niche that you are in, to check where you can easily find your community on LinkedIn, on Facebook, on Instagram, on Slack, everywhere. Look for them, join them. But we've also said when you join them, don't just join, but try to add value to that community that you are joining. Then again, to wrap up, we said something about pair learning, right? Pair learning. And when you pair learn with people, the people you want to pair learn with should be people that you have known their antecedents, to know that what is pursuing these people are of a higher speed. Therefore, the speed at which they are running is quite high, and you want to fit your leg into their shoes just so you can move together at that speed. And when you learn, please remember that the essence of learning is for you to give back to the same community. So remember to revert to the community that made you. So thank you very much for your time today. And I want to really appreciate Bimbo for the extra effort that she put in place to be on this call. You don't want to know the stress she went through just to make sure she's spent on this call today. That is the same spirit of excellence that we are talking about. So Bimbo, your final words before we say bye-bye to the audience we have.
Thank you, Joseph, for having me. Thank you for this opportunity. Okay, so my final words today will be that um, joining a community is very important to boost your career growth. And I want us to know that community will not knock on your door. So you have to actually go out to be part of a community. So in whatever you do, make sure that you are part of the community. Join that group, send that message, start that conversation. Just do something that helps you grow. Do something to give back to the community as well. Right. So thank you everyone for joining today.
All right. So thank you, everybody. So we're coming back here next week, Saturday. I mean, maybe next 2 weeks, Saturday. We'll let you know when the event is going to be coming up, and we'll be speaking about accountability. So thank you for sticking through to this point. If you've not subscribed to our YouTube channel, please head on to the YouTube channel to subscribe. If you are watching on TikTok, you may want to give us a follow. If you are on LinkedIn, please just try to hit on the connect button. We are ready to attend to that. And Joseph, Emere Michael is asking if the session is recorded. Yes, the session is auto recorded and it's going to be tied to Bimbo's platform. I mean, on LinkedIn, right? You can check her profile out. If you check my profile also
Okay.
on LinkedIn, you're going to see it at the end of today's call. On Facebook, of course, it's going to be there for I think 60 days or so. On YouTube, it's permanently there. But unfortunately, if you are watching from TikTok, it does not auto record. So you just need to find your way to our LinkedIn page or Facebook or YouTube, and then just try to download the recording or something so that you can watch over and over again. But I want to say thank you again to the audience listening out there, and special thank you to Bimbo for her time today. Thank you very much, guys. Cheers.